X-Men First Class is directed by Matthew Vaughn and stars James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Kevin Bacon, Jennifer Lawrence, Rose Byrne, and January Jones. This movie is another prequel to the X-Men trilogy that basically would show the origin of the X-Men and the origins of Professor X's and Magneto's relationship that would define most of that original trilogy. It's kind of loosely based off of the canceled X-Men Origins Magneto movie. Like, a lot of the beginning is devoted to Magneto's origins. It expands upon that first opening scene of the original X-Men. And that's what a lot of the beginning is. So, so really, because Fox wanted to make an X-Men Origins storyline sort of thing, where a bunch of characters would get movies explaining their origins. Wolverine was supposed to jumpstart that because Wolverine's a very marketable character. People love Wolverine. So I was like, alright, and he was the standout of that trilogy. So like, alright, Hugh Jackman, he's coming back, he's gonna reprise his role, we're gonna see the origin, something that was a huge question of that original trilogy. But as we know, X-Men Origins Wolverine failed miserably. So, and the only other planned one was X-Men Origins Magneto. Well, that was canceled. And this is kind of what became of it, and we're probably better with it being an X-Men Origin movie with a focus on Magneto and Professor X. Because that's what works, and also what shines. James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender are amazing in these two roles. They are perfectly cast as a young version of not just those characters, but of the actors Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart. Because it's one thing to alright, these feel like younger versions of the characters, but they also had to feel like younger versions of the actors playing them. And they both felt like the younger versions of the actors who portrayed them in the original trilogy. And not only that, but they had amazing chemistry, just like Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart had. So it definitely made their relationship so amazing to watch. I was invested almost the entire time. Something that I didn't really say. I haven't said a little bit about X-Men movies. First Class was the first time I ever watched it. It was good. I enjoyed it, but I've watched it more since then, and I have fallen so much in love with this movie. I love X-Men First Class. It's amazing. It's great. It's everything an X-Men Origin movie I could have wanted. I think Kevin Bacon is great. I love seeing how everything is set up. I like the kind of falling and splintering apart that Magneto and Professor X do, because it's kind of building that up to watch it fall down. And when it does fall down, it honestly really kind of upset me. Because I was really liking the relationship, and I know how it ends. I know how this goes, but I was sad when I saw it fall apart like that. And the fact that I always find it really impressive when a prequel, because we know what happens in the original, and then the prequel comes along, it's able to affect me like that. I always find it very impressive when a prequel can just affect me emotionally, even though I know what happens to these characters and stuff. So I just think they did really good. I think this movie was the X-Men Origins that we needed. It was perfect. My only complaint, Emma Frost. I wouldn't say I like Emma Frost. I don't mind Emma Frost in the comics. She can have some interesting stories, like any character, I guess. I've never seen Mad Men, so I don't know if January Jones is good in that. I hear everyone's good in great performances in Mad Men. I should really check that show out, but I have not seen it yet, so I don't know if her performance is good in that. So, but her performance isn't that great in this. I don't know. It was off. and wasn't matching anything else that was happening in the movie. It didn't feel consequential. Yeah, that sounds about right. The direction by Matthew Vaughn is amazing. I have not seen some of Matthew Vaughn's other works like Kingsman, but I want to. Those movies are high on my watch list, so I'm gonna have to check those movies out soon. But if they're as good as this movie, then I think I'm in for a treat. Like I said, X-Men First Class was great. It's everything I could have wanted. So I'm going to give X-Men First Class a 96 Wolverines in a bar out of 100. Because he does have a cameo in this movie, and it's the best. Also, I was having a hard time thinking of things to come up with my numbers. Like, what did I do? 96 nuclear bombs. So, and that scene's always, and the Wolverine scene's always stuck out to me. So, there we go. That's what I'm doing. Have you seen X-Men First Class? If you have, what did you think of it? Do you like it as much as I do, or are you as big a fan of it as I am? Let me know in the comments below. I very much highly recommend this movie. If you like this review, make sure to like and subscribe. This is Jordan from Jordan Reviews, signing off.